Welcome friends to Safer Internet Day with Google for Education and Pear Deck. We're super excited to tell you about our Be Internet Awesome curriculum today, and I'm here to teach you all about it. So let's jump right into all of the great things you can do with our not new, I guess. It's actually a really great collaboration we've had for a while, but maybe new to you in learning about this curriculum today. So it is called Be Internet Awesome. It's a great collaboration that we have with Google for Education on how you can be safe online and how you can learn about digital citizenship. And it's a really great collaboration to be able to have interactivity with Pear Deck and also have those great lessons with Google for Education. So first, though, let me tell you who I am. I'm talking to you about all these great things, but I haven't told you anything about me. So my name is Amber Trout, and I am the trainer here at Pear Deck. And I'm super excited to be here with you today to teach you about all of these great things that you can do with Pear Deck and also our Be Internet Awesome curriculum. If you want to follow along with me on Twitter at Amber Pear Deck, please definitely do so and join with all the great things you can see on Twitter, and also hashtag Safer Internet Day. If you could definitely tag that, that would be great too. Also, Safer Internet Day is tomorrow. Just so you know, we're having this a little early, but tomorrow is Safer Internet Day, the 9th. And so just going to kind of set you up with all of this for today, and you can use it tomorrow if you'd like. And also, if you have additional questions, things that you need after this presentation today, we have a wonderful help desk, help@peardeck.com, for all of the support and needs that you might have. All right. And also, I didn't even tell you, but I was a former educator myself. So I just want you to all know that thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for being educators in the times of COVID. We know how hard you're working. I was a public educator for 11 years prior to moving to Pear Deck. And so definitely know how hard you're working and how much you are appreciated, in my eyes at least, because I know that teachers are getting paid less money for what they do. And honestly, you guys are the rock stars right now. All right, let's jump in, and I want to show you just a little bit more about how this all works here inside of Google Slides. So we are going to learn today how Pear Deck kind of works here and how you can set this all up so that you can have these interactive lessons. And then we are going to go through a Pear Deck lesson with Be Internet Awesome, so you can see all of that and also just learn some really great things about what is happening with this curriculum, how you can use it, and maybe some different ways that you can use Pear Deck as well. So we're going to jump into all of that. But first, let me take you through here in Google Slides. First, I want you to know that we are not an app. We are a web-based program. So wherever there's an internet connection, you're going to be able to use Pear Deck, and you do not have to worry about downloading apps, having special software. You're going to be able to just use it with an internet connection, which makes it very user-friendly. So we are found in the add-ons menu in Google Slides. We are also available in Microsoft PowerPoint, so just make sure you know that you can do this in the add-ins menu in Microsoft PowerPoint. We're going to focus on Google today, but have no fear. You will have this in both places that you'll be able to use Pear Deck, just so you know. All right, so we're going to click on the add-ons menu here in the Pear Deck in the little tabs at the top, and you're going to see the first time that you ever do this, you're going to click on Get Add-ons. This is where we're going to install Pear Deck. You're going to see it here on this main page, and all you're going to do is click one time to install it, and you're going to be good to go. Now, it's going to be available in the add-ons menu under Pear Deck for Google Slides and Open. You're going to see the Pear Deck sidebar now populate on the right-hand side of my screen, and everything that you need to do can be done here in the Pear Deck sidebar. And also, this is where you will find the Be Internet Awesome curriculum. So I'm going to show you all of those today, but I just kind of want to do a quick overview of how this all works. How do we get started with Pear Deck so that we can use these awesome lessons? So let's jump in. So there is a lot of great things that you can do here in the Pear Deck sidebar, but I just want to point out a couple of things if maybe you're brand new, don't even know anything about Pear Deck, or maybe you have started out with Pear Deck, but just want to know some cool different things you can do. Well, first, we have our templates library, which is a great place for brand new users, teachers that are not familiar with Pear Deck yet, or maybe if you're not that tech savvy, it's okay. You're going to be able to use our templates library, which has pre-made, ready-to-use content for all different areas. So lesson builders, learning development. I want to point out we have social emotional learning templates in here. Those are really great. You also have subject areas for all the different subjects that you're working in. These templates can be just popped right in with a one click, and it's going to populate right into your Google Slides presentation. And they're 100% customizable. So you can get started with Pear Deck today using these great and amazing templates and customize them however you see fit. So just so you know, you do have access to those in the Pear Deck sidebar. These will be available for you to use whether you're using the free version or the paid version today. You're going to be able to have some really great things to use. Now here in the middle, I want you to see the different slide types. So hear me loud and clear when I tell you this today. You can use pre-existing Google Slides presentations and make them interactive with Pear Deck. You do not have to build something from scratch or brand new. You're going to be able to use what you already have and just pop it right into your presentation. So I would like for all of you to know you can work smarter, not harder with Pear Deck. We're trying to make your jobs easier. So that's how you're going to be able to add interactivity on what you already have. Now, these different interactivity tools are going to be easy to just pop onto pre-existing slides. It's just a one click and they will put them right on. Doesn't do anything to your slide. It literally leaves it the same, puts an interactivity bar at the bottom, so you might see it right here, and that's all that it's going to do to make it an interactive slide. This little bar at the bottom has to stay for the interactivity. If you want the interactivity to come off, that's how you just delete it, and it will come right off. So easy for you to add, delete, customize, whatever you need. Now, I do want to point out over here some of these different slide types. I mean, obviously we can all read, so I'm not going to read them to you, but I want to point out that you do have some really great things you can do for students while you're in a Pear Deck presentation. So you do have a website slide, which is really great to embed other websites. So if you're wanting to use other things for students to interact inside of your Pear Deck presentation, and they're not jumping out to all different tabs on the internet, you're going to be able to use a website slide. So now you can do things like film Flipgrids, do ed puzzles, Quizlets, Kahoots inside of your Pear Deck presentation. So that is a really helpful slide, especially for those of you doing remote learning where you don't want kids jumping out to all different tabs on the internet. You're going to be able to keep them with you using a website slide. So really helpful when you're working with Pear Deck. And then drawing and draggables, these are two premium features that you get with the paid version of Pear Deck, but there's some really great things you can do with those as well. Being able to have options to draw on the screen, move things on the screen, just some really great features you can use if you're using a premium version of Pear Deck. And then of course, we have down here the Be Internet Awesome curriculum. So here in the Pear Deck sidebar is where you will find that amazing curriculum that we're going to go through today. It is completely free. You're going to be able to just install it right to your drive. So if I click on the Add to Drive button, what it will do is pull it up in a new window. Oops, got to log in. And it's going to ask you if you want it for yourself or for your school or district. So it'll put it into a shared folder or a team drive if you want to have it accessible to all teachers, or you can just put it for yourself. It automatically makes a folder in your Google Drive, gives you every lesson already pre-built, ready to go. You just click start, and it comes in English and Spanish. So you're going to have those two things in your Google Drive folder. It will say Be Internet Awesome, gives you all of the lessons. It gives you additional teaching resources as well. And it gives you some really great ways for you to be able to use our flashcard factory, which we're going to talk about later. But vocabulary, being able to use vocabulary as well. So tons of great things that will just be put right into this little folder for you, and you're just going to be able to go with it. So again, very simple to do by clicking on the Add to Drive here in the Pear Deck sidebar, and you're going to get that Be Internet Awesome curriculum. So one click, Then you're just going to pop it right into your Google Drive. So really easy, and something we're going to dive into today. All right, so I kind of showed you a 101 of how this all works in Google Slides, how you use Pear Deck, how you install it, but I want to show you the actual experience. So I want to jump you into a live Pear Deck presentation so that you can see how this works, and we're going to dive into that Be Internet Awesome curriculum. All right, friends, let's do it. We're going to click on Start Lesson. Now, when we start the lesson, the great part about Pear Deck is that you're going to have two modes that you can start in. As soon as my internet loads here, the struggle is real sometimes. When in doubt, reload, right? Start lesson again. There we go. So you're going to see that there's two modes that you can start in. Well, thank you. Someone says I love my shirt. Pear Deck. There you go. You're going to see, of course, the two modes you can start in. So you have student pace mode, which is students are the driver of the learning. They are moving through it independently, and they do not need a teacher present. So really great when they're doing some independent practice work, even in this Be Internet Awesome curriculum, where they could take a moment and be able to kind of dive in by themselves. You also have instructor-paced activity, which is what we're going to join in today. And this is a great way for you to join the presentation in a mode where only the teacher is driving the learning. Everybody's moving together through slides, and I will not have you being able to jump back and forth through my presentation. So really helpful when you're doing remote learning, or you just want kids to all be with you. But don't worry, the nice part is you can switch between these two modes as many times as you want. So we're going to look at a little bit of that today so you can see how this works. And in the Be Internet Awesome curriculum that you already have pre-built, it gives you like a very easy cue in there, and it says turn into student pace mode now. So it gives you the opportunity to let students direct instruction with you, but also take a moment to reflect by themselves. So it does all of that for you in those lessons. It tells you when to turn it on, when to turn it off. So very self-explanatory. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into this amazing lesson. But first, I have to get you all in here. Well, at least some of you. All right, I'm going to move this out, and I want to go ahead and take a moment and have some of us join. If you can go to joinpd.com and type in this code for me. I would like to have some of you join. I'm going to tell you when to stop joining because I don't want to break Pear Deck today, but I do want some of you to actually be in the experience with me. So go ahead, if you're in here and are able to, go ahead and go to joinpd.com, type in this code, and we'll begin the class in just a moment. I'm also going to, the Give Students a Link button is also a way for you to join as a student. So it's sometimes nice to see both views. I'm just going to put that in a second tab today because you know what? Sometimes you just want to be able to go through and be the student and the teacher in your lesson. So we're going to do that. Whoops, clicking all over. All right, go ahead, take a moment, get logged in, and then we'll start the lesson. So I'm going to start the lesson in just a few minutes. We get a few, and then we'll begin. All right, looks like we're getting some more people in here. Again, you can just go to joinpd.com in another tab, or maybe in another device. You can do that, and then we can begin. All right, looks like we have some people joining in. Awesome, awesome. You can see down here at the bottom too while you're connecting. The nice part is you're going to be able to know which students are in there and which ones are not. So now this is really good classroom management for you because you're going to not be in that guessing game of did they log in, did they not? And you will have a roster option here in Pear Deck. So really nice. All right, we're starting the class, friends. I'm going to go ahead and continue this. Now, we went through some of these, but I just want to, of course, jump you into an interactive slide. Go ahead and interact with this. How much do you know about Pear Deck today? Those of you that are joining me out there, what is your skill level? So let's go ahead and just kind of see that. I'm going to click on Show Responses down here at the bottom. And you're going to see, all right, ooh, we have some very avid users of Pear Deck. I like it. So there's a lot of you in here that know a lot about Pear Deck today. You've been using it, which is exciting. And I see some of the people in the chat that they are like, I love Pear Deck. So yes, I'm excited that you're joining me today. But those of you that are not familiar with Pear Deck, you're going to see some really cool interactivity tools on these slides, and you're going to have some ideas that maybe you can start building on how you could use this with your students as well. So even if you haven't started out with Pear Deck at all, you're going to see some really great things that you can do with it today. Not only learn about our curriculum for Be Internet Awesome, but see how Pear Deck works. So excited to be here with all of you, and of course, a lot of you avid users. I'm super excited to show you this great curriculum. All right, moving on forward, friends. I want to first talk to you about a little bit about why we kind of came up with this curriculum with Google and why we've been using this, because there is some definite internet usage that is happening now. So we do have 79% of students that have smartphones. I know you know that kindergarten kids these days have smartphones. So everybody's using the internet, and sometimes they're not sure how to use those things effectively. So we want to be sure that you know how to do that using our curriculum. Also, we have 86% of kids are using the internet every week. And you know what? This is probably even higher now because this was from before. And I am sure that it is happening 90 or more % of the time that kids are using the internet every single day now, because this is the way of the world. We're doing remote learning. But this is the first time in history that a generation is growing up with constant access to the internet. As you know, if you don't teach your kids or have them on the internet, they're not going to know anything, because that's everything. Everything is on the internet. Everything is being able to be accessed online. And so we teach our kids how to use it at a very young age, because we want them to be prepared for further careers, for further using it in those other grade levels. All right, let me tell you a little more. So as you may know, bullying or cyberbullying is a problem, and we've battled it for decades. But digital technologies can make intervention a little bit tricky when you're trying to intervene. Now, 28% of students have experienced bullying personally, but I'm sure that number is even higher now with all of the cyber that we're doing and cyberbullying that is very much apparent. Now, 71% of students have witnessed bullying directly, but guess what? They don't always tell anyone about it. So 0% of online conversations have teachers invited to them, because the kids aren't telling you what's happening in these bullying situations. They feel like if I say, someone's going to retaliate on me. So we're going to teach your students how to be upstanders, not bystanders, with this lesson today. All right. Also, you're going to see that educators are actually the most trusted sources to maximize benefits and minimize harms of technology for children. 84% of educators feel they don't have the resources to teach digital safety. Now, as you may know, and I know being a teacher myself, is that honestly, you are like their parents, because you spend a ton of time with them throughout the school year. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. They probably see you more than their parents. So now you have become one of their parents. They trust you because they see you so often. So now you are going to be the best avenue to be able to show kids how to be safe online. And so that's why we're setting you up with this curriculum, because you are now those adults that students trust, see all the time, and know that they are able to interact with you in that format. All right, enough talking about stats. We want to play around and learn about this, right? So first, I want you to think, and we're going to create a digital citizen ourselves. So think about your students. Think about your students that you see every day. What does it look like? I want you to, in this activity, use some words, drawings, symbols, whatever it is to describe your student and what it is that they're doing online. So what does it look like to be a digital citizen here in this world right now? And then we're going to share these in just a moment. I'm going to give you a little timer here. So I'm just going to give you about 1 minute to go ahead and set your digital citizen on here. Draw anything that you want to be able to show me that and describe your student. And then we'll show this in just a minute. Now, I'm going to go in as a student myself and maybe go through and see what I can draw in here. So this is just going to be Pear Deck 101 in here. Those of you who know how to use this tool, absolutely keep on going. But here as a student, you're going to be able to draw on the screen, and I'm going to be able to not only draw, but I can also highlight in here. So if I want to highlight information, I can. I also have line tools where I can do things like making Venn diagrams, making webs, doing different things that I can do in here. And then I also have text tools where I'm going to add text, and I can move it around the screen for fill in the blanks or make it into a very custom slide. So I'm going to see what people are drawing. Oh, look at that. Timer went off, locks up screens, and now we have to go back and see what people have drawn. Whoops, clicking all over here. Let me click out of that one. Okay, so I'm going to click on show responses so I can see this. And I'm going to see, I'm going to change my layout right here so I can see what people have put on here. So it looks like a lot of students are on their computers every day, right? That's what you see. You have students that are maybe having multiple devices that they're having to interact with, cell phones, computers, whether it's even TVs, you know, those are smart TVs these days. Everybody participating, students being engaged, students asking questions, especially when you're using Pear Deck. Every single student has a voice now. Some of these people are saying they're addicted to their phone. Their earbuds are always in their ears. I don't know how many times as a teacher I was like, how do you hear what I'm telling you if you don't take those earbuds out of your ear? So the struggle is real, I know. So watching YouTube a lot, definitely. Games like Among Us, yes, there's lots of different things that students are interacting with online. And watching YouTube videos is like a black hole for students. If you ever send them to YouTube, it's really hard to get them back. So you're going to see how this is going to, of course, be able to help you with this digital citizen that you're thinking about today. All right, so is your district working on digital citizenship and online safety? What is it that maybe your district is doing? Are they, or are you not really having the tools to be able to show this to students effectively? I'm going to click on show responses. We'll watch these coming in. So we kind of got a wide mix, but I think a lot of people these days are realizing that they do need digital citizenship because of all the things that we're doing online. So I think more people are adopting these, but not enough, obviously. We want more people to feel like they have the tools to show students how to be safe online. So I can see a wide mix of students or of participants today are saying, hey, we don't have all the tools we need. It'd be nice to have more. All right, moving on forward. So do you and your community have the resources necessary to effectively teach digital citizenship? So thinking outside of your school district, is there places for kids to go in your community, resources in your area that maybe teach digital citizenship effectively? So let's see what you're saying. Yes, we're going to talk about that, Jennifer. We're going to talk about Interland, which is a really cool game, because I saw you mentioned on there that kids are playing games. They're looking at different, cool websites. Well, that's the nice part about Be Internet Awesome. It's not just going to be slides. You're going to have games to go with it, which really pulls kids in. All right, so let's see. What is it that maybe you're saying here? Google certified educator. Woohoo, me too. I'm a Google certified trainer, which is exciting. Yes, so you have a very fortunate situation, highly involved district who proactively provides internet security to our students, which is amazing, by the way. Some resources people are saying, I've looked up different tools for schools, but really focus on Second Step. Yes, I used to use Second Step too, so I know that curriculum fairly well. Not yet. Yeah, I think that's kind of happening a lot. Maybe no other resources unless you're really scouting it. Not that I'm aware of. So that's the thing. A lot of these things might be hidden. Like you don't know they're available to you, or kids don't know they're available to them either. So we're going to change that today. All right, so in 2017, Google launched Be Internet Awesome. So it's designed to provide resources to help educators and students talk about digital safety and citizenship. So it's really great to help students be safe, be confident explorers in the online world, and also be upstanders, not bystanders. It is also available in 9 languages globally. So when you click the one in Pear Deck, you're going to be able to get it in English and Spanish, but there is plenty more different languages. I know that there might be some of us joining from all over the world today, and don't worry, you will have it in your language too. So it's just a really great way to not only use this here in the United States, but we do have some other great ways that you can use it if you are using or you have different other languages. Now, kind of the approach that they came up with and how we are going to empower students to be safe online is that we didn't say, all right, we're going to just trust Google and they're going to have all these great ideas. But wait a minute, we're not going to talk to teachers or students or parents. So you're not going to have a well-rounded picture if you don't have everybody's voice heard. So the approach was, we want to talk to kids. We want to talk to educators, and we want to talk to parents, bringing them all together to actively learn and participate in this conversation. Because without every one of those, this resource would not be the way that it is. You honestly need every voice, because not everybody is just going to be able to have all these great ideas by themselves. So we brought in all of those different resources to be able to talk to them and learn how they would see that this is the best fit for their students or for their children. All right, so you should see a video if you're in my Pear Deck presentation, a video that's popping up on your side, but I just want to take a minute and be able to see if you can kind of see how this program is, how kids respond to it, and of course, the ways that students would be able to kind of interact with it. So let's take a moment, watch this video.
I couldn't imagine what the world would be like without internet today. It'd be nothing but chaos.
I tried preparing for the real world. I'm not with him 24/7, so I can't protect him all the time, can I?
Kids are inherently curious. And on the internet, there's so much knowledge and information that I need to make sure that as an educator that I'm teaching them the skills that they need to start to look out for themselves. The Be Internet Awesome program is designed to teach students in a fun way how to be safe online. You're on a web page and you see a button that says, click here and you could win $1 million. What do you think would happen? Yeah, Matthew.
Get scammed.
Maybe you'd get scammed. Ethan.
Whatever you're on could get a virus.
What do you do if someone you don't know tries to follow you?
I block them because I have a private account.
Excellent.
We are about to journey into a place that's called Interland to learn how to be internet awesome.
Yes. 100 points. Good job, Zaire. All right. You got it.
What they do online now is something that's going to follow them for the rest of their lives. The lessons we're doing and the activities that we're doing in the classroom are making an impact. They are developing the skills that they need in order to be able to keep themselves safe online.
Almost like it'd be real.
It's fake. Look how internet is spelled.
Then I would have got fish.
Nowadays, the internet is the way people see you. Anybody can post anything on the internet, and sometimes those things that they post are not okay. Be respectful to others. If somebody gets hurt, try to help them. If you come across something that's either inappropriate or like bullying or just anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, you should tell somebody. Be internet awesome.
All right, so that one kind of gives me the warm fuzzies because it's just a great little way of kind of showing how students interact with this, but also how fun they find it. I love that part where the student is saying to his mom, like, look at the way that they're spelling that. That's not correct. And so kids are very intuitive on the internet, and they're going to, of course, have the ability to really find out that, hey, there is things on the internet that shouldn't be trusted. And so this is going to be a great way for you to see all of that with our Be Internet Awesome, but just kind of how it works. Now, we are going to jump into the Interland in a little bit, but I just want you to know that there is a really great game that goes with this Be Internet Awesome curriculum. All right, so let's talk about, there's different lessons in the Be Internet Awesome. So there's 5 fundamental lessons. And this is the ones you would get in your Google Drive folder where you can just go through and look at all of them. And each one of them is labeled with this fundamental lesson. And then there's 5 lessons in each one, I believe. And so you will have multiple lessons to do for each one of these. But first we have Share with Care, which is a really great way for students to learn about their own digital footprint, online reputations, and how to communicate responsibly. So honestly, we want students to reduce their digital footprint and make sure that their online reputation is not something that people don't want to see. And so Share with Care is one of the fundamental lessons in Be Internet Awesome. And before I go to the next slide, I would like all of you to start putting these lessons in here because I'm going to give you a little pop quiz at the end. All right, we also have Don't Fall for Fake, which is knowing not to be scammed online and also not clicking on content that might be concerning, something that might be phishing, for students to not get scammed and be able to fall for fake. So like we always tell students that, hey, you don't want to be putting like your birthday, your address, all of these different things online because now they're not going to be a secret. And you want to make sure that you're securing those things so that people are not going to take your information. Or if you're using multiple passwords on the same website that are maybe not secure passwords, we teach our students to secure those things. All right, put that one in there. 2 more. And then we also have It's Cool to Be Kind. So being positive online, obviously we see a lot of cyberbullying, but how can we be upstanders rather than bystanders and not having harmful words that we're saying online, and students are not going to be, giving those mean-spirited, inappropriate things online. We want to be sure that kids are knowing how to be kind online. All right, one more. And of course, when in doubt, talk it out. This is going to be a great way for students to communicate those things to a trusted adult. As we talked about, students don't talk about it sometimes. They don't tell you if there's cyberbullying or bullying happening because they're afraid of the retaliation. But if we can talk to them about how it's so important to make sure that we are communicating these things to a trusted adult, it's going to save us all of that heartache and those cyberbullying situations. All right, I'm hoping you all got those in there. Here's your quiz. Can you name the 5 pillars of Be Internet Awesome? So take a moment. I want you to think about all those different ones I just told you, and I want you to see if you can name them. Let's see how much you were listening to me. I'm going to click on Show Responses. Watch these coming in. Share with Care. You got it. Don't Fall for Fake. You got that one. Secure your secrets. Ooh, somebody's good. Or you're looking on the internet right now. Oh, all right. Cool to Be Kind. Yes. And when in doubt, talk it out. Ooh, good job. Whoever is this first one here, you just killed it. So it's a great little curriculum with all those different ones that you can use. And of course, I know you're all wondering, what about that Interland that you're talking about and that game you keep telling us about, lady? So I'm about to show you that now. So great job, those of you listening to me. It's unlike our students sometimes, right? When we ask them to repeat what we said and they can't remember a thing. So thank you for those of you that did. All right, so this is kind of what Interland looks like. So you have all these different lands and they go with the 5 pillars of Be Internet Awesome. So the ones that you just listed, this is where the Interland is going to take you to those different places to play a game about it. So let me pop you into Interland so you can see how great it is. Now here is where it is. If you just search it, Be Internet Awesome with Interland, then you're going to find this. If you click on Let's Do This, you're going to see that it pops you into the different ones. So here's Share with Care, and you can play here. And you're going to learn about how to share with care. You also have the Tower of Treasures, which is securing your secrets, where you can go through and play some games in here. You also have Kind Kingdom. It's cool to be kind, and you can play different lessons about being kind. And you also have Reality River, Don't Fall for Fake. You're going to be able to, of course, play in here. So when in doubt, talk it out is not in here because that one is one that you'd be doing with your students. So just so you know, you're going to see the 4 interlands because the talking one is going to be what you're doing with your students, how you're having those conversations with them. Now, when you click on this play button here, it is a very interactive, fun little game. So you can see it's got music.
The river that runs through Interland flows with...
So I'm not going to go through all of that because it will be a lot, but just know that it is very interactive. It does pull you into these lessons where kids are going to have to learn. I'm going to take off that music because it's a lot. But it takes you right through and it says, all right, you get an email from a hilarious subject line that is obviously a scam. What do you do? And then you go through and play the game. So I'm telling you, I had kids working in this before. It is fun. It's just like what kids love to do, play games. So now you can do it with learning how to be online, safety online. So be Internet Awesome Interland. Check it out. It's going to have all the different worlds for you to complete lessons in. All right. Now that we've seen all of those great things, I want to show you what does an actual Be Internet Awesome lesson look like in your Google Drive. How does it work? What do you do? And how are you going to be able to interact with it like you would with students? So we're going to do one today. I mentioned that we were going to talk about being an upstander. So we're going to be upstanders today. So I want to take you through that. When you start out in the lessons in Pear Deck and you have those folders where you have all the different lessons, when you pull them up, they almost always look like this. They start out with, here's the lesson, here's what activity we're doing, and then they always have this little goals sheet. So it always has, what are we going to do today? We're going to identify, evaluate, learn, know. And so it does set them up for success and all the things that they're going to learn, but just kind of giving them the goals that they're going to hit throughout that lesson. So it's not just like, pop right in, we're going to continue the lesson. It's like, what are we going to learn from this and how is it going to make us better online? So you will always have this goal page. And then it talks you right in, goes right into, let's talk about it. Why does kindness matter? So what is a bystander? How can a bystander make bullying worse? And how can they make it better? So I wanted you to take a few moments, think about that. Even if you're not in my Pear Deck presentation, if you just want to put that in the chat, that will be perfectly fine. But what is a bystander? Because kids don't even know sometimes what's happening in the background of bullying and not sure what to even do. So tell me, what is a bystander? I'm going to click on show responses here. Watch these coming in. So a bystander is someone who just watches and does nothing. Bing, bing, bing. Exactly. So of course, when you have students, they're going to be like, what's a bystander? But getting that language out there, having them hear that vocabulary, they're going to know when they hear it again, when you say, hey, you were a bystander in that situation, not an upstander. That's going to ring a bell. So it's nice for kids to kind of get this vocabulary, know what this information is before you go forward with your lessons. So really great. Yes, those of you that are typing in here in real time, thank you for all of your great definitions because you're going to know that students will probably not know that information right offhand. All right. So we talked about a bystander, but what's an upstander? So an upstander fights bad behavior and stands up for kindness and positivity. So this kind of leads right into how can we be better at not just standing by and doing nothing. So this is, of course, exactly what it looks like in your lessons, kind of gives you that definition for kids to kind of now have the other side of it. Now, have you or someone you know ever stood up in one of these ways? So go ahead and just draw on there, circle, check mark, whatever it is. Have you set a good example? Have you been a good friend? Not encouraging bad behavior by giving it an audience, just kind of saying, that's not cool. We don't do that. Not passing on hurtful messages or report mean bullying behavior, which I don't think a lot of people or students do, is report that behavior. So I'm going to click on show responses. Watch these coming in. So it looks like we have a lot of people that are doing things like, I'm going to change it so I can see them a little better. Setting a good example, being a friend. But this is also setting your students up to know, hey, these are the ways that I can be an upstander. because they might not know that. Honestly, kids don't always know how to go about being an upstander. So this gives you those ideas, gives students the idea that, oh, I just have to be a good friend and that's going to be something that I can do. So this is a really great way. It's going to give kids these ideas as well. All right, switching it back so I can see all of these. Thank you for those of you interacting in here, giving me these wonderful words and drawings in here. So thank you. All right. So what can you do? Which responses make sense if you're the target? Which makes sense if you're an upstander? So now they're going to have to look between, hey, if I'm the target of bullying or if I'm the one trying to be an upstander, what are some things that I can do to respond appropriately? So draw some lines to what you would do. And as you can see, this is kind of all scaffolding. It's going through and talking about what is a bystander, what's an upstander, what are some examples of how I can be an upstander. Now, how would I talk about it appropriately? I'm going to click on show responses and see these coming in. Again, you're going to have your students being able to interact here and being able to see like, hey, what are the ways that I can respond in an appropriate manner? Because that's the key word there, right? Appropriate manner, because sometimes kids don't know that. So it gives you the ability for them to think about what can I do to be an upstander and have appropriate responses, not yelling at kids or not saying anything, right? Just ignoring it. All right, friends, moving forward. So what is the most important thing you learned today from this lesson? What are some things that you could see yourself using with students in the classroom? What are some things that you found that were really beneficial in these lessons? Or what are some things that you're like, hey, that is going to be something I'm going to manipulate and change, but also I'm going to use. So sometimes we just need to make it our own. So what did you find was the most important thing you learned? Let's show how to use Pear Deck. Woohoo! That is very important. That is very important, right? Has my digital citizenship unit. It's all ready to go. Awesome. So people are already using it. How to be a bystander as a student and a teacher, along with additional resources and English and Spanish. Yes. A fun way for students to learn, and it's very important topics. Absolutely. As we know, some of these topics can be hard to come up with kids and tell them about them. But when you're using things like fun games, it sometimes makes kids a little more easy going when it comes to these ideas. Yes, great discussion starters. Absolutely. Because you know what? It's hard to talk about cyberbullying and things like that. So how can you start those conversations? Yes, learning about Interland. It's a really great little place. I promise you kids will love it. I know as a teacher myself, when I was first learning about it, I was like, this is really cool. You could get sucked in for sure. So yes, lots of great ways you can use it. Thank you for those of you that are like, Pear Deck is awesome. That's what we like to hear. All right, so this is kind of the end of that lesson, kind of how it looks when you finish a lesson. It does kind of wrap up everything. It takes a minute for kids to reflect, and then it kind of wraps it up and says, all right, we learned about being a bystander and being an upstander rather than a bystander. But as you can see how those lessons kind of scaffold, it's really nice for kids to start foundationally and then go through how can I actually change my behavior to be sure that I'm being an upstander. Now, there is a really great little thing that you can do with students when you're working with them. It's called Flashcard Factory. So you probably see on your side, which is the people that are in, is the words that you are talking with kids in your Be Internet Awesome can now be transferred into Flashcard Factory for kids to go through and interact with vocabulary. They can write sentences. They can build pictures. They can do all kinds of different things to now really put that vocabulary in here. So we have this really great little flashcard factory, and definitely check that out. Those of you that are in there, you can just kind of scroll through the page and look through it. I'll show you those of you that are not in there if you want to see kind of what it looks like. So you're going to be able to see that you can just go through and create your list. You can put definitions in there for students to interact with. They will have a production phase where they're going to be able to draw what it is that you have put down on that card. and then they're going to go through and ship and study those. So now it'll have a quality control engineer here. They will check to be sure they are accurate. You as the teacher will be the quality control engineer. You're going to check to see that they are accurate, and then you can ship them off. And actually, which is really fun, at the end of your flashcard factory, we have a collaboration with GimKit Live. And if you've ever played GimKit, it's like Kahoot on steroids, okay? It's really fun. Kids love it. It's a really fun interactive game that they can play to even learn further how to use those vocabulary words. So definitely check out Flashcard Factory. You can just search it and you'll find Flashcard Factory in peardeck.com. All right. Now, I do want to let you know that those resources that I told you, they are ready-made. They're at your fingertips. It's a one-click, and you don't have to worry about going through and downloading all of them, putting them in your own folder. We put them all in there for you. It's very, for those of you that are not in my presentation, if you just search Be Internet Awesome in peardeck.com, you're going to see all the different resources you have in here and how you can easily install it with one click. So resources, lessons, recognition, you're going to have all of those things. Yes, really good stuff. All right, we're nearing to the end, but again, install the full Be Internet Awesome curriculum with one click, available in English and Spanish is what we have. I'm just trying to give you as many things in here as possible for you to just do a one click. So definitely click there, grab it, put it in your Google Drive, call it a day. And woo, this is exciting stuff here. I need all ears and eyes on me. We are giving away 1 year of premium Pear Deck access to amazing users of Be Internet Awesome and of Pear Deck. And so you're just going to opt in and present a Be Internet Awesome lesson using Pear Deck before the end of the month to enter to win. So free. It's free. You just have to go through and do a Be Internet Awesome lesson. So that shouldn't be hard at all. You're going to see the link at the bottom there where you can go through and do that. But we want you to win this because now you're going to have all those premium features I showed you today, and you'll have access to it for 1 full year. So this is actually our collaboration with Google. They were able to give us 1,000 free premium versions. And so we're giving away all of those to you amazing people out there. So check it out. Go to that link at the bottom, or if you're in my Pear Deck presentation, you can just click and it'll take you right in for you can sign up and opt into that. So we would love for you to have free Pear Deck. So check it out. I'll leave it here for just a couple seconds more. Oh, there it is. Pear Deck has put it in the chat for you. You're going to find all of that. Now, I'm going to challenge you because I want you to all take a moment and actually use this curriculum and find some great ways that you can utilize it with students in the classroom. So I'm challenging you after this training today to install the Pear Deck add-on for Google Slides if you haven't already, so you can get started with interactive lessons. Also, install that Be Internet Awesome curriculum. It's very easy in the Pear Deck sidebar for you to just click there and go. We're also I'm going to challenge you to teach a Be Internet Awesome lesson with Pear Deck because you want to win that free premium version. So definitely teach one and be able to do it with Pear Deck to get that. And have students play Interland. I mean, even have yourself play Interland so you can see how cool it is. So take a moment to really dive into those resources and have students play in Interland or yourself. I mean, I'm not going to discriminate if you want to do either or. And then try out a printable BIA activity. So a Be Internet Awesome activity, there's also printables. Some of you are working in hybrid situations. So if you want to print some things out for kids to do in school as well as online, you will have the access to doing that too. So we very much challenge you to have all of this amazing things that you have at your fingertips and start utilizing them today. Yes, check, check, and check, right? You're going to be able to have all of that. But on behalf of the Pear Deck team and all of the amazing educators around the world, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for being educators. Thank you for being here today and learning about this awesome curriculum. And thank you for being together so we can do more for our students. We are trying to make sure our students have everything they need to be successful in this digital world. And we appreciate you taking the moment to just learn about this and teach kids about being internet awesome. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I appreciate you spending your evening with me. And again, check us out on Twitter. Safer Internet Day is tomorrow, just so you know. So happy Safer Internet Day tomorrow. You can do hashtag Safer Internet Day to be able to have all that information. And let me take you back one more time. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, you may do so. If you have additional questions, you can send them to our help desk, help@peardeck.com. Now, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. I love being able to do this with all of you, and I appreciate you joining me online. So thank you, friends. Have a great rest of your evening, and I hope to see you all again soon using Be Internet Awesome.